What's up, guys? I'm Steven.
And I'm Will.
And this is the Post P Chronicles. So, Will, what do we got going on today?
I'm really excited today. We have a legend, Southeast legend, right here in front of us. Man, Big Haney. Sam, what's going on, man?
Oh, it's all good, man. It's a blessing to be here.
Definitely.
Appreciate you being on the show.
Without a doubt.
Appreciate
Anytime.
you. Man, so like we say to everybody, man, tell us your story, man. Where are you from? Where'd you grow up?
I grew up in an area called Southeast San Diego. And when we moved over there, it was no gangs.
Right.
So I just say I'm from Southeast.
Right. Now, when did you move over there?
1972. Right across the street from one of the original stores called Paul Lowe's Liquor Store.
Paul Lowe's Liquor Store.
And Paul Lowe's Liquor Store is what really created everything.
And how is that? How did Paul Lowe's Liquor Store? Tell us a story about Paul Lowe's Liquor Store.
Well, back in the day, Paul Lowe's Liquor Store was like a mecca for Southeast.
Okay.
Skylines, but it wasn't no gangs.
Right.
You got the older
Just the
guys.
areas.
So if I'm like 12 or 13, you got guys like 18, 19, 22, 23, and low riders. Paul Lowe's, man, was the mecca where everybody found out where the parties was at, where clubs was jumping, the low riders was down there. And when you got like, at the time, say, a 10-year-old kid seeing all this, so I started hanging out down there.
So Friday nights you were at Paul
Friday
Lowe's
nights,
parking
Saturday
lot?
nights, it's
Paul Lowe's Liquor
Paul
Store.
Lowe's Liquor Store. You got all the older guys, I can name some guys, all the low riders. A lot of them's not here today. And it got to the point to where, me, Mark Clifton, a few of the homies, we just started hanging out. You started, you know what, this is our spot.
Right.
So the first initial part of that becoming a gang, we started calling it PL control. So you got youngsters no more than 13 to maybe 10, maybe 11. We're just little criminals. But we down there hustling. We down there trying to rob people. We catch you slipping. We catch you high. We get you behind. And we do you. We're going to get what we get.
At 13 years old.
13 years old. Yeah.
And these adults, you guys are...
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Taking care of adults, huh?
So it got to the point, by the time we got like 15, that area was okay, come down here, then you got to deal with us. And we had a call, man, called the old saying. Like I tell people that's my age, if you can't not say this saying, then I don't consider you a PL boy. Meaning, you might been down there, but when they go out to do some real good stuff,
Right.
it's only a handful. Rolling, strolling, controlling, because the PL boys is controlling. So if you come down there, that's what it was. And then that they built a little park. And today, everybody call it LincolnPark. But I'm willing to bet anybody $1 to a donut, you cannot find a park in Southeast San Diego named LincolnPark. See, the park original park is called John F. Kennedy, because the park was built behind John F. Kennedy Elementary School. But it's right down the street from Lincoln High. This is one of the schools that I always wanted to go to growing up. Oh man, the High, Lincoln, just Lincoln. So when the park, we just, we're going to start calling this park Lincoln Park. But now you got to remember, gangs, we wasn't the first really actual gang as far as Bloods and Crips.
Right.
When people mention neighborhood, everybody can mention Donnie Ramsey's name, because everybody know who he is. Everybody about the coast. People don't realize one of the original founders is from LA as well. We done did a lot of shoot time in Quentin. So these guys at the time is like in their 20s already. So by the time our neighborhood formed, started calling it Lincoln, I said about 14, 15 years old. So we go to house party, we started representing Lincoln, but we was LincolnPark players. See, so we transformed from PL control to LincolnPark players. That's what the LPP was for.
Right.
Because me, Clifton, Stacey Adams, we stayed sharp with the brims. I still got all that stuff now. And we thought we was players.
Right.
So when we go out to parties, man, LincolnPark players is here, but we dangerous.
Right.
We're dangerous.
From the PL boys.
Oh yeah, from the PL, but we're dangerous at this time, but we
Right.
still the players.
What year was this?
I would say 78.
Okay.
It's about 78. We were still LincolnPark players. And then One day, me and Big Cleavon, we was up in Kmart off 54th and what's that up there about University? Used to be an old Kmart. So we up in there, we got one of the older homeboys, girl working there. She the one tagged returns. So we gonna go get some TVs, have her tag. We out of there. But in the process, I seen some green bandanas. Now everybody think we're green because of Lincoln High School.
That's what I would have guessed.
Never. When I started at the time, Lincoln didn't even have a bandana color. Bam, no bandana color. And we seen the green flags. I like, blood, look at them motherfuckers, man. Matter of fact, they the color of money. So I snatched one, bone snatched one, bam. So by the time we got back down to the dip, Face Off saying, ooh, Art Louis seeing it, next thing I know, everybody got the green rags. That became our color. But we still Lincoln Park players. Unfortunately, my life in society at the time was going to get shut down at 16. So up until then, we're doing our thing. We're Lincoln Park players. But now here go the thing. I need everybody to understand something. I've heard over the years everybody saying Lincoln Park used to be crisp when they first started. And I'm going to tell you this. That's false. And the reason why is when you got like, say right now, you back in the day, say in 79, you got somebody that's like 24. And he watched young kids writing PLC on the wall. PLC. Now remember this, the gangs in San Diego was still fresh. But so now the older guy, oh, I remember niggas writing PLC on the wall. It didn't stand for Crip. But see, since Crips and Bloods are so out now, everybody had that memory of the PLC. They just automatically think, oh, they started out as Crips. No, the C stand for control, meaning we're gonna control this down here. And we all young kids, but we kept guns. It's sad to say, man, I started doing burglaries when I was in the first grade.
First grade.
First grade.
Yes, I was doing burglaries since the first grade. We moved to California, we moved over there, and it just kept going.
Now, real quick, where are you from, and how's your home life with parents and stuff?
I'm born in Phoenix, Arizona.
Okay.
And by the time I was like in the first grade, my mom left me and two brothers with my great grandmother. And this is what I had to come up with this story to understand how I became who I became.
Right.
With these board people, as a matter of fact, and this was part of it. I could never determine what made me who I am. Why? Because everybody's not born a criminal. You're not born a gang member. So what really made you become what you became? And throughout these groups, I had to go all the way back to when I first stole something and why I stole something. And that's where the snowball effect comes in. Then you got to just, like I'm doing, painting the story all the way up. When my mom left us, I'm smart enough to know that if me and my two brothers get in enough trouble, my mom got to come and get us. So I'm still in doing this, but I wasn't getting caught. Sad to say, I done stole like the collection plate in churches and all that. Go to church, preacher man put the money in his, I gotta go to the bathroom. I don't know nothing about bills, so I go to give me some quarters and dimes, put them in my shoe with some toilet paper so they won't make no noise. This is how I'm thinking in the first grade. And my memory is fresh. And this is when I learned about the power of money. And this is where it all started right here. When you're a kid, you can go back in the 60s, the late 60s, and go to the store with, say, $4 in quarters. You get a lot of candy. You get back to the block, people ain't got no kids, ain't got no money. I got the candy, which is the drug. So now I get to, for this you gotta do this. For this you gotta do this. If we play hide and go get it, I get to find you. I got to know this. So now I'm understanding how to manipulate. And that's where it all started. And when my mom came and got us, it was too late. I still remember the first apartment that we stayed in. My mother brought us to San Diego. It was on Ocean View. And that apartment is still raggedy today. That's when I just got out that house and just started doing what I do. And like I say, eventually we ended up moving to Oliveira. And I don't know if you're familiar. At one time, Skyline and Lincoln Park was allies.
I heard about that.
Me and Clifton.
Yeah. Because he lived over there in Skyline.
Yep, but it wasn't that did it. He had a rapport with Hitman from some family stuff back in they stayed in John Adam Apartments. So we still Lincoln Park players, but we ain't affiliated with nobody. But Skyline, we really wasn't shooting at each other. We was more focused with neighborhood Crips or West Coast Crips. Skyline was more favored with West Coast and the Brims. We ain't ever funked with the Brims. Well, one night, man, I was coming down San Margarita, and I seen some well-known Crips that I know from neighborhood Crips and West Coast who never hung out together. And when I seen that, when Cleveland come out here, I called him. Got right home, called him. See, I'm telling you, I'm doing this. Yeah.
You know that's a
yeah, I'm doing this, right? And and I hit my boy up and I told him, man, and this is what I say, man, get that Rick and have Rick get some of his homeboys, and we all meet at Skyline Rick. I'm going to bring a couple home. I got Cleveland, Stay Soft. I don't forget who else it was, but we get out there, and I told him what I seen. And so the next weekend was our first party together as, we still Lincoln Park players though.
Yeah.
Now, Skyline is down at the park with us. They coming through the school. I went to Garfield with a Big He and some real reputables out there at Garfield. And Lincoln Park and Skyline was together, and it was treacherous for a lot of young black men like me. Man, and to see how this shit blew up to what it blew up to. Now in '79, this is all '70. This is like '79 when Lincoln Park and Skyline is together. About
You
the
still
summer.
were like 15 years old.
I'm
16
16.
years old
I
at
just
this time?
turned 16 because it's like the
Still
summer.
Still a teenager.
Still a teenager.
Yeah.
Only about 5'4", about 120 pounds maybe. Matter of fact,
But dangerous.
I was 116 pounds. The thing is, I had no remorse.
Are you going to school at this time? You dropped out of school?
School. I stopped going to school in the 7th grade.
Okay.
This is what school was to me. You leave the house, you go to school, bell ring, I'm gone. I got my stolen car, and I'm hitting burglars all day till about 12 o'clock. Then I go to Lincoln Park to hang out and shoot dice.
Got it.
So I'm the
That's
one.
in the 7th grade, you said.
Oh, in the 7th grade, that's when I first went to jail.
That's when.
I went to jail.
Let's talk about that.
I was going to. They bust a lot of black kids from Southeast to Hill Junior High, and predominantly whites in Claremont. And I was having a lot of issues with some young kids, with that bullshit. So, okay. Towards the last day of school, I went to the gym, me and some buddies, and just started whooping ass. And you know how you be in the gym, you got the little bench you sit on and change your clothes?
Yeah.
I got the dude that been fucking over me, talking shit, calling me by my name for months. While he was down there, I jumped on top of that thing. I had my biscuits on. And I kicked that man right in his mouth, man. Kicked out about so many teeth. And then once again, like you say, somebody told on me. For the first time ever, I went to juvenile camp. And I ain't gonna lie. When I went to juvenile hall and that motherfucker said 15 weeks, I think I was like 12. I'm like, 15 weeks? That seems like forever. And I looked at my mama, and man, I started crying. 15 weeks. And man, I cried. And all 15 weeks was for 3 months. But I'm 12 years old. I'm like, It is. Cause I know I was went to Hill Junior High. I know for a fact I was 12. Got out of juvenile camp, made my mark in there, beat a couple of niggas with some pool sticks. My name and my picture was still up in the gym where they do the wrestling. Couldn't nobody fuck with me. I was number 1. Got out of juvenile camp. Was out 2 or 3 months. Went right back for selling weed. Got out of juvenile camp. Got a cool probation officer that understood that my home life was fucked up. I had 5 little brothers and my mom. My mom is Southeast. My mom had me selling pills across town on my bike. So it's like, it's not a surprise what I became because of my upbringing.
Yeah, she does. Where's your dad at? during this time?
I never met him.
Never met him?
I'm the only one out of my 5 brothers that have never met his dad or even seen a picture of this dude.
Mm-hmm.
And
So are your brothers all from different fathers?
yes,
Yeah. Okay.
I'm one of them households. Matter of fact, out of 6 boys, only 2 got the same dad.
Mm.
It is what it is. My mom is good. She was down here with me for 16 months, but she went back to Sacramento. I have one little brother in the pen right now with life without the possibility. In 1998, my mother had no sons on the streets.
Wow.
And 2 of us had life sentence.
So back to that parole officer, he saw that coming, so he was more relaxed with you.
When I got out this time? Or
No,
just,
you're talking about the probation.
oh, my
officer.
probation.
probation.
His name was Mr. Hatcher, man. I'm going to get chill bumps. Mr. Hatcher was a good dude. He understood. He didn't like what I was doing, but he kept me getting white suspensions if I did get arrested for something. He would get me out of juvenile hall. From the time I got out of juvenile hall, out of camp when I was 13, I never went back. And the only reason why, Mr. Hatcher kept covering for me and kept just getting me white suspensions. I had like about 6 white suspensions. And
So do you think that helped you?
oh
or
no,
hurt you?
it hindered me because I understood. Put it this way, I respected this man so much. Somebody said if I can file a law, I have a lawsuit against the city of San Diego because they didn't do their jobs.
Right.
But to do that, I would have to bring Mr. Hatcher into the bullshit crap. I wasn't gonna do that. I wasn't gonna do that. Even though he thought he was doing right, I ain't finna do that to him.
Yeah.
Right? And I remember my little brother Bill, he asked Mr. Hatcher back in maybe 83, because he was my little brother probation officer later on, are they ever gonna let my brother out? And Mr. Hatcher told my brother, man, if he stop messing up, they're gonna let him out, but by the time they let him out, he's gonna be in his 50s. Now at the time, I'm only like maybe 19 in the joint. I came home when I was 53. And in 1979, I got arrested for murder.
How old are you at this point?
16.
Murder at 16.
Yeah, murder at 16. I went to juvenile hall, and the first thing I heard, I get chill bumps, bro. Cleavon was in the window. Cleavon looked. He said, "Oh shit, y'all, shit finna change now." And as soon as I got in, they got me in the cell. They brought us out. The first face I didn't recognize. Where you from, homie? I'm from West. That's it. Only. Cause he didn't say Sky. He didn't say 5, which means 9. He didn't say Lincoln, which I know I would know you. So we still young. So my thing is, like I said, I wish I'd have brought my my portfolio, because I have every arrest from 1976, all which I caught my murder, well, till I committed my murder, because you can't catch a murder. You got to commit a murder. You can only catch a fish.
Yeah.
So when I committed my crime, I wish I would have brought that portfolio, because it shows everything from 76 all the way up to my last write-up in the prison system. So my start from 76 all the way up to my last 128 or something like that, to about 2005. So I changed juvenile hall up. If you ever been in juvenile hall, what unit was the whole?
The whole in Kearny Mesa?
Was it 80?
No, I was at 800, so that was the first time I went to juvenile hall. I was at 800, the unit,
But
the
see,
UC unit.
the reception unit, that
And the
hallway,
hole was in the hallway. It
I'm
was in the
the
hallway.
reason why that became the whole.
80 hallway.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Juvenile had no segregation, but I'm the one that made it that. In juvenile hall, it was what it is. And any crip that was in juvenile hall from West Coast or neighborhood, any crip that was in 100 felt these. I didn't fight Bloods. But you got to understand my mentality. I had all that hate, and the hate was for a person that don't say blood. That just period. And they came to juvenile hall, sent me on a 90-day observation at YTS. I went to the observation. I got kicked out in 27 days. I had just lost my auntie, and I was playing ping pong. The Mexican dude called me a pinche mayate, and I beat his ass up under the ping pong table. They locked me up. Dude in the kitchen, man, I needed a phone call. He said, if you work in the kitchen tonight, I'll give you a phone call. But while I was working in the kitchen, I guess the dude's friend, big white dude, was talking crap. I'm sterilizing the trays. I just waited till he got with, so while I hit you with that water, you can't run. I'm going to burn your back up now. Well, they came and snatched me up, cuffed me up, chained me up, put me in a little white Maverick, took me back to San Diego, put me in juvenile hall, in reception, and they called Unit 100, which is the maximum security unit. We got a rival for you. Anybody we know? They said, oh, very well. Who is it? Samuel Bradley. Nope. They're like, what do you mean, no? Keep him up there. Where we going to put him at? Put him in one of the cells in 80. That's where he at. He's not coming back down here. So they put me in 80, and I stayed there isolated from all the juvenile hall for 3 months. Maybe a little longer than that, because now I'm no longer eligible for a youth authority. So I go to court, and I got sentenced 27 to life in the state penitentiary. So now I'm in 80 for the next, I'll get about 4 months. And finally, that gray goose came in with my name on it.
How old were you at this time? How long was you fighting the case?
When the bus came and got me in October, I had just turned 17 that July. So it was 2 people. It was me and one Hispanic dude. The first 2 that left from juvenile hall and went straight to prison. And the Hispanic dude was my friend since juvenile camp. We was in juvenile camp both times. He rests in peace now.
Did he have life too?
No, he was in there for manslaughter. He stabbed somebody. He was from Logan Heights. And he stabbed somebody. That was my little partner. We used to call him Eddie Monster because he had a real strong widow's peak. His name, street name is, he's a giant. His name was Big Popeye from Logan. And me and my boy David, man, we was in Chino together, but he was like about maybe 30 days ahead of me. Then he went to Tracy. So I get to Chino. Oh, when the bus came and got me in juvenile hall, I wasn't scared, right? So I get on the bus. Hey, man, somebody's packed me a big. We can smoke on the bus. Motherfuckers threw me a Camel non-filtered. And I'm like, this motherfucking Anthony Langston. Because I remember one of my older homeboys, one day, we was going to TJ to get some Merc. And I like, homie, I left my cools at the house. Pull over. Look in the glove compartment. Get one of them. I open the glove compartment. Camel non-filters. And this is what that motherfucker told me, man. Oh, don't worry about it. You going to be smoking them. What the fuck you talking about? Man, and when I got that Camel on that bus, I just thought about it. I just said, that motherfucker. That's what he meant. Because the route I was going,
You'll
everybody
figure it out. You're going to get those. Yeah.
Either I was going to be dead or I was going to prison. So if you go to prison, the first thing you're going to be smoking is bugler, state tobacco, or some Camels. So I noticed a lot of older dudes on there on the bus that I knew from the streets. And they thought I was going to YTS. I said, no, I'm going where y'all going. They're like, bullshit. I said, no, I'm going to Chino. So we get to Chino. And man, I wasn't afraid when I was on that bus, but when I stepped off that bus.
I was going to say, you're 17, 150 pounds soaking.
No.
120 pounds soaking wet.
No. Probably about 116.
116 pounds going to
5'4".
Chino. 27 years. How you feeling?
Man, when I got out the bus, I looked up and I swear to God, my whole body started shaking, man. And I was like, damn. So when we get in there, they got all the men in. Now you got to remember, you hear about booty bandits, people stabbing each other, young man getting raped. You know what I'm saying? So This is gonna be funny, y'all. So we in the holding tank. Look at the chill, bro. They coming. So now the police come, and everybody know. All right, everybody line up and started stripping. So I'm like, so everybody, come on, man. Dude, youngster, man, I ain't taking my clothes off, man. Dude, I ain't taking. Y'all got me fucked up. And my auntie's old boyfriend named Lynn Thomas. He said, man, everybody worry about. I said, man, I ain't doing it. So by the time the police come back, hey, kid, you don't follow orders. I said, man, I'm not getting naked. He said, what? He said, I gotta go get the sergeant. I said, man, you can go with the lieutenant, sergeant, captain, whoever. I'm not doing it. So the lieutenant came, get him out of there. Pulled me around the how old are you, kid? I said, man, I tried to play that 17. He said, what's the problem? I said, man, he told me to get naked. And I wasn't finna get naked in front of all them dudes. He said, well, what's your reason for that? I said, man, shit, I don't know if one of them motherfuckers booty bandits. Anybody gonna be looking at my ass, right? The lieutenant fell out, man. So he said, look, man, strip me out over here. So he stripped me out. He said, man, you have my thing, Bradley, huh? I said, yes, sir. He said, well, I tell you what, man, you're going to get used to this, because it's going to happen a lot. He said, but I respect your gumption, man. He said, you might make it, man. He said, we ain't never seen no 17-year-old up in here just coming out of juvenile hall. He said, but you might make it. So when we get back around there, they clowning. I said, I don't give a fuck what none of you motherfuckers say. Hey, none of y'all in here say y'all seen my black ass, right? And I think when I first made my name in Chino, I was in the cell with a little blood out of LA, out of Compton from Luders Park. So I get up to the cell. Where you from, blood? I said LPP. Because let me go back a little bit. While I was in juvenile hall, we still LincolnPark players. Mm-hmm. You know, everybody got their little folders. You get drawing your little L's, your little leprechaun, east side drawing the east and whatever. I said, you know what, Bone? Since we all together, man, you know what? Let's just say LincolnPark Pyru. So we started writing LPP. That's when LincolnPark Pyru. Because, see, people don't get it. I heard a couple dudes, I seen somebody on their books, and I hear these dudes, they don't have their facts right. They're going by this, what people talk about, but LincolnPark Pyru I heard somebody say LincolnPark was the first Pyru set in San Diego. Bullcrap. Skyline, they hit it proper. When they came out with ESP, they had the jackets with their names on it. That is the first Pyru neighborhood in San Diego. LincolnPark, we didn't start calling ourselves Pyrus until I say around maybe March of 1980. I know it was like within 3 or 4 months I was in juvenile hall already. That's when LincolnPark became Pyrus. So anyway, by the time I got to Chino, I go to the cell. Where you from? I said, I'm from LPP, nigga. Nigga, I don't know you. I'm from Luders Park. Nigga, I'm from Southeast San Diego, LincolnPark Pyru. Oh, all right, blood. Little nigga, man, little swole motherfucker. You gotta remember, I don't fight blood, but if you run up on me, I'm gonna do something to you. Yeah. So little Jeff always thought, time to be bullying up in there or whatever, but now, a lot of motherfuckers, man, was getting caught up with that fag shit. So, excuse my language.
You good.
Okay, but look, so, I'm the only Dago blood in Chino. Yeah. So now, all the homies from LA, we going down to Birch Hall. What's that in the Birch Hall? That's where the Sagoonies at. What the fuck is a Sagoonie? They talking about the punks. Oh no, I don't mess around. I ain't going down there, so I don't go. I stayed back, and his brother named Big Elroy from Bounty Hunter was on CTQ in the corner cell on the bottom. Well, unknowns to me, it was some dude. I heard him over the tier one night. He was always talking shit, disrespecting everybody. Yeah. So the next day, they supposed to get the dude. Now, Jackson's a big dude. I'm talking to Elroy, and I'm right up under the staircase, because he's in the last cell. He's about 2 cells, so there's nothing there but a back wall, and he's got the staircase. I see dude walking, and I like, Elroy, that's that motherfucker Master Gas's ass. That motherfucking crazy motherfucker heard me. And on everything I love, that big old motherfucker looked at me and said, I'm gonna fuck you up, youngster. And he started coming towards me. Elroy like, blood, I can't go nowhere. I ain't finna run. But all the so-called homies is down there fucking with the punks in Birch Hall. So when he ran up on me, man, I ain't gonna lie, I just ran and met him. and I just jumped up. I had to jump up, and I hit him with all my might. I hit him up here somewhere, and I seen his eyes go dazed. So state boosters, the old original state boosters, real hard boots.
Steel toe demon.
Man, I kicked that motherfucker straight in his nuts. Wham! And when he went over, I just jumped on him, man. I started just getting him. And I'm calling, LincolnPark fool. And I jumped up. I got to stomping him. And his brother named Grasshopper and his brother named Champ out of LA, some old school dudes. They sent somebody down there. They grabbed me, got me up to the stairs. The dude laid out. Police coming in there, so I done got out my shit. The police had about 8 or 9 people cuffed up on the bottom tier. So I'm on the tier. I look down there. I say, shit. I say, man, they didn't do that to dude. Dude looked up at me. Hey, dude, kid, be quiet. I was like, nah, man, I ain't no snitch. But I can't let you cuff them dudes up. I did him like that. It's, man, bring that motherfucker down. They brought me down, looked at my shit. I bought the shoes. They looked. They cuffed me up, took all the cuffs off everybody. They take me down to the lieutenant's office. And when I get in there, the lieutenant looked at me. He said, Bradley, are you a little young, the kid that? I said, yes, sir. So, I'm planning like this here again.
Yes, sir.
Yes, yeah. And I told him what happened. He said, wait a minute. Oh, matter of fact, while my celly, he always think he just, and this crimey was next door named Big Lug out of Compton. When they was coming back from Birch Hall, or whatever, and someone went to the yard, they was coming back, and they seen the ambulance rolling the dude Jackson on a stretcher up out of there, fucked up. And then all of a sudden, you're in a hallway, got you facing the wall or whatever, here I come. 5'4", I'm telling you, man, you put some rocks in my pocket, I might have hit 115 pounds. But now my little bird chest,
Poking out. Now
oh yeah, I got the cuffs on, man. I got my
there.
pants sagging. I'm like, yeah, I'm walking with the swag, right? Jeff came by, they looking for somebody else. Now everybody can realize it was that little nigga, big. Well, they call me Big Haney or just Haney because I was, just Haney. That's that nigga Haney from LincolnPark. So the lieutenant looked at me. He said, man, take the cuffs off of me. I took the cuffs off. He said, look here, man. Today's your lucky day. That motherfucker should have been got his ass whooped a while ago. I don't know why these motherfuckers, so-called these gangsters, are so scared of this big motherfucker. And you did all that? He said, I'll tell you what, I'm going to let you go. He said, don't even write him up. But he said, if I see you in my office again, before you go to, because they told me I was going to DVI, what they call Gladiator school, I'm putting you in Palm Hall. All right, they let me go. So I get back to the cell, Lug said, hey, little Jeff, old Haney got hands, huh? Now all of a sudden, me and my boy Jeff, which is my boy, he all that old time to be like he running the cell shit, he stopped all that.
He wasn't none of them problems.
And then, unfortunately, my ticket came for October the 29th. No, I got the Chino in October. So I think it's around about December. The bus came and got me for DVI. And I don't care what nobody say. Back then,
What is DVI?
Dual Vocational Institution, better known in the system as Gladiator School.
Does that prison not exist anymore? Do they call
Oh no, it's called Tracy.
Oh, Tracy. Oh, okay.
That's where a lot of birth of a lot of prison gangs was created from. The Emmy, Black Gorilla Family, Bloodline, all that Vanguard, all that was started in Tracy. Now, keep in mind, you got a 17-year-old Southeast blood on Tracy Main Line with nothing but, there was some older cats from San Diego, but they wasn't bangers. So basically, you ain't finna tell me shit. And I met a couple older cats, man, and had my back. But I was the only one amongst all these LA bloods. Didn't have a problem. Because one Pyru that I met up there, man, he's rest in peace. He's out of LA, man. His name was Big Rooster. Tyree. That was my boy. He took me up under his wing. And his brother named Victor Butler out of Bakersfield. I'm out of Riverside. No banger, but they some down dudes. Tracy was dangerous because now I didn't understand people saying north and south with the Hispanics. So within 2 days there in our section, a riot break out. So of course I'm on the Mexican, but he ain't trying to fight back. He trying to, hey man, what you doing? I'm like, look, you know. And when it was all over, I had busted one dude in the head with a chair. I mean, a little stool. And when it was all over, we all going up, running our cell. I took my little jacket off, threw it out the window like I ain't had shit or whatever. Then come to find out, we go on lockdown. We get off lockdown, they had to pull me up on something. Dude like, hey, Holmes, what? Why the fuck you sock me? Hey, Holmes, get away. Come to find out he's a Nathaniel. See, Nathaniels and the blacks was this. Mm-hmm. But to me, I don't know. This was a riot. I just seen a Mexican, so I'm firing. Man, I was fucking that dude up too.
So how long did you do in Tracy?
Let me see. I went to the hole within 6 months. Did my first shoe program. I think I was in Tracy around about 18 months, and when I turned 18, as a matter of fact, I got the hole. When I turned 18, I got the hole. Tracy kicked me up out of there. I went to the hole for some knives. I had 2 big ass knives. It was a night. Now I'm close custody.
Close custody.
So you can't even go to yard at night time. But these motherfuckers, man, some Crips, man, put out word that it's gonna be a Crip night tonight. Can't no Bloods be on the yard. Oh, I'm trying to go to that yard. Went to the yard, and a Grip nigga. Well, let me change my vocabulary on that. A brother that is rest in peace now. Known Crip, tried to burn my flag, and they tried to rush me. They got me right here and shit, but I got 2 straps, and we was trying to go ahead. But the only thing that saved me, about 25 BGFs came over there, and the only reason why they saved me, see, I'm one of them ones. They've been trying to get up under that shit, that paperwork, cause I'm a down motherfucker, right? But I'm good. So they grabbed me. They said, man, leave your knives on the yard. Because, you know, they pick and choose when you go in. But I got 2 pretty knives. I'm not leaving my shit on the yard. So I got a red, you know, we couldn't have green, so they represent blood. I got a red hoodie. I got 2 red rags in my pocket, all hanging all on my little paper. You know, I'm out of it. I'm banging. And when I came in, I walked past one officer, and the other officer, hey, you right here. And I'm like, fuck. So I just kept going. So when I kept going, he ran behind me and grabbed me, and they slammed me against. When he grabbed me, I trapped him and turned, and I slammed him against the wall. Wham! And when I slammed him against the wall, my knives fell. Clink, clink. Whatever they call that, when they take you down, they have you cuffed up with your ankles.
Yeah.
And like this.
Hogtied.
Now you gotta remember, I'm 17 still. Man, they had a place called K-Wing. Now K-Wing in Tracy, that's the real, you up in there with some gangsters. They get to the first tier, they just slung me in the cell, man. Bam, I hit my head and I go out. I can't say how much time I was out, but I know I heard somebody finally hitting on the wall. Bam, 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 bam. It was this dude named CC, he was next door to me. You all right, bro? And I'm like, fuck, I'm still hog-tied. So finally they come and take the cuffs off, and this police come to my cell looking at me and shit. So I always look at the name tags. And I'm like, fuck. I said, man, what you want, man? He said, oh, man, calm down, Bradley. He said, man, my brother told me to get you a TV, so you ain't gonna have to wait for you go to committee. I said, he your brother? It was a CO that I called a bitch motherfucker. Name was Corvello. I said, motherfucker, I bet you won't take that uniform off or that badge and come in my cell. You know, I'm whooping. 17-year-old kid. I'm in the cell, man, the door open up. And the first thing that come in my mind, what the fuck you want? Dude, you just told this dude that he in the t-shirt. That fool ran in the cell.
The CO.
Yes. So we got the knuckling. So I can wrestle though. I end up getting him down. I got about 2 good hits. He said, hey, that's enough. I'm scared now. I jumped up. I'm like, what? My heart beating like a motherfucker. He got me right here, but I had the shit fucked up a little bit. It was his big brother that working inside K-Wing. Now, here go the weird part. I'm not putting no paperwork, so I'm on the bottom tier. Remember my little SA friend I told you? He was in K-Wing as well. He was down the way. So it's shower time and shit. And he sent me a kite. They called a wheeler. He said, look, when you go to the shower, man, just have your towel up, all right? I went back, nigga, I'm hanging. I ain't gonna scared of this shit. So I go to the shower, bam. Then when I come out, they uncuff you, or your door open up. You know you by yourself. You go to the shower, when they pop the shower, you go back to your cell. So my first shower, I go shower. Yeah, nigga talking about put this towel up. They got me fucked up. So I come out the shower and shit, and I'm walking, man. All of a sudden, bam, oh shit, bam, oh shit. Motherfuckers start shooting darts at me. Southsiders, I got a mark right here where they hit me. Right?
Man.
Next thing I know, I have my towel like this here. I'm walking back to some cells like this here. I hear a motherfucker in the cell laughing like a motherfucker. Popeye was in the cell laughing, right? But then a week later, they tell me, you're going to the second tier. Second tier east. I said, second tier east. So in my mind, I can't go up there. All top flight BGFs, Black Guerrilla families, all Northaniel mafias that can't even go to the main line. They got me up here with these people. And I'm like, wow, but I can't say shit. And the reason what happened, it was his brother that was a BGF on the main line. He's from Oakland. He rest in peace. His name was Atari. He the one that had me pulled up there.
Right.
Because somebody saying word, hey, try to, after a couple yards, man, finally Atari told his whole crew, look, man, young Haney ain't messing with us like that, but he's willing to get this right. So they left me alone. They never asked me to go up on their paperwork again.
So let me ask you this, because I know you got 1,000,001 stories from
Hey, bro.
1,000,001.
Anytime y'all want to finish this, I'm here.
I think this is definitely going to be a part 2.
Yeah.
This is definitely going to be a part 2.
Because I want to get to what I'm doing now.
Yeah.
That's what we want to hear.
Yeah, because now I'm what I call a community activist. When I first came home, man, I got into a...
Before we get to what you're doing now, because I want to put a bow, because you did 27 years in prison.
No, 37.
You did 37 years in prison. How many prisons did you end up going to?
Okay, there we go. I started in Chino, Tracy, Quentin, Tehachapi Max. I opened up a new Corcoran 180 yard. I was there, and they shut everything down for some gang of riots. Then I went to High Desert. I was up there let me go right here. Tracy, 18 months. Quentin almost, maybe, from 82 to 88. So I'll say 6 years. Then from there, I went to Tehachapi Max. I was there 10 years. And from there, I went to New Corcoran, opened up that yard, and they transferred me up out of there to High Desert after 2 years. Got to High Desert, was there 3 years. Then I met my wife. In June, we started writing in June 2001. I was in High Desert. So the following year, I got transferred to Calipatria, which was a blessing because my wife from San Diego. Mm-hmm. Get to Calipatria, I was there 7 years, but when I got there in June of 2002, I got married in October 2002.
Right.
Stayed there 7 years, then I went to Centinela.
Almost like right across the street.
I stayed, when I turned level 3 for the first time, I spent 30 years on level 4. And I spent like 15 of them 30 on 180.
How did you come home?
Ja. But what got me home was me studying, trying to figure out what this board wanted.
What did they want?
They wanted truth, no lies, no stuttering, no nothing. But remember I was telling you about how I had to go back? That was the key. Because like I said, that was the key to everything. They denied a lot of lifers based on they couldn't describe insight. They couldn't get the insight. I figured it out.
You did the self work.
Well, we all did, but I went a little farther, right? And I had to go to this one lady to have her force a lady that was up under her in the program to put Bradley in that class he needed. I knew up until then I need to get in this class.
What class was that?
It was family affairs, And what it did is it showed, she asked me one question. She said, Mr. Bradley, when was the first time you can remember actually stealing something? And what was the reason?
How old were you at this time?
First grade.
No.
Oh.
We know when you first stole, but how old was you when you really got that insight and you was able to look back?
2013. So you go back from
10
now.
years ago.
Yeah.
10 years ago, and you said you're 50.
I'm 60 now.
60, so
I
you was
just turned
50
60
years
yesterday.
old. Happy birthday, happy belated birthday.
Happy
Thank you.
birthday. First grade to 50 to figure it out.
First grade to 50 to figure it out. That is...
And she just asked me, I told her. And then it come down to one word. What made, now, this is why I went to the board, Mr. Bradley, what made you, I said, abandonment. When my mom's abandoned me, I created a way to get her back, but by the time she came and got us, I was done. It was all about being abandoned. That's what started me, and it's like I said, I paint the picture. All the way up to the gang shit, until I come home.
Did you go to board one time? And
No. My first eligibility was 96. And at the time, they can deny you between 1 and 5 years. I go in 96. And I got denied 5 years. And here go the thing. I remember her name. Her name is Carol Bentley. She told me right there in the 5, she said, Mr. Bradley, after today, this is 96, if you don't start changing your program and start going to these AAs and NAs, she said, you're going to die in prison. She said, because another 20 or 30 years, it always happened. The window opened up. But when that door closed, you're going to be trapped. That was the first seed planted to try to do, bam. That was on a Tuesday. Well, that Saturday, I'm into Hatchby Max. And I end up knocking a Compton Paru out. What do you know? I go back to board in 5 years. I'm in New Corcoran now. I told you I got tracked, And guess who was in the board?
Same lady.
Same lady.
Miss Carol Bentley. And she said, Mr. Bradley, and you go rat in a soda inmate. And I explained to her what transpired. But it also showed that I was still with that gang shit. Because when dudes, after I wasn't tripping, dude, man, you know what? Let me get my shower roll. They just told me no more write-ups. I'm going to go to my cell. Big Spank Booty from Emerald Hill, he was there. I grabbed my shower roll. I was going to my motherfucking cell. And the dude said, nigga, fuck LincolnPark. I dropped my shower roll while he would call me a punk. And he went out. I hit him twice in that chin. He went out. Bam! Busted his head and everything. That lady, man, tore off into my butt 5 years later. So right then and there, I started taking all the self-help programs. But I was in there for the attendance. So
Check the boxes.
Yeah, get the certificates.
Yeah.
As long as I got the certificates, the board know I've been doing my thing. Bam. So long story short, I transfer. I go to board in 2009 again in Centinela. And bro, that's when I realized I don't know shit because I wasn't taking none of these classes. See, I was going there getting the paperwork. But now I get in front of the board, I got to talk. I can't talk. You hear no recovery words coming out my mouth. Nothing. They did commend me for finally at 30 years getting to a level 3, and they only denied me, based on I was just doing a little bit, they denied me 3 years. I transferred to CMC, that's why I run across P Brazing. Then I left there and went to level 2. And it was on level 2 Corcoran. The best yard yet. Because now I'm into this shit. All through CMC now, I'm in it.
They can ask you any question, you can answer
What I
it
do
like
is,
that.
if you don't internalize the information, how you gonna verbalize it?
Right.
So you gotta internalize. You gotta do your work. So even when I'm in that cage, I'm reading, I'm writing. Because as long as you write stuff out, your memory remembers. Mm-hmm. So I'm doing everything I'm supposed to do, and I'm helping people in the process. And finally, I went to board again in 2014, and I got found suitable. Now, Governor Brown was letting all the lifers go, so everybody just knew I was going home. I knew I was going home. The SAP program is called the Substance Abuse Program. Everybody just knew I was going home. Stacey Johnson, everybody, all this. So
Except for Governor Brown.
all of a sudden, man, I get a call on the yard. I'm a caregiver. Believe it or not, old Sam Bradley got a gold coat. I read letters for people that can't read. I write their letters for them. They had a program called DDP. These dudes can be taken advantage of. Well, guess what? I had to push one dude. He's still my friend to this day in a wheelchair because his legs was busted up. I'm the one got him back walking. Well, they called me off the yard, report back to the building. I'm like, oh, shit, I know it's about that time now. The governor, I get back to the building. Then one of the officers said, hey, man, they're in the office back there. So I go in the office. I see the DDP officer, the floor officer, another DDP officer, and the counselor. So I'm like, what's the word, Venezuela? And then this dude named Edward Gary, he said, look, Bradley, whatever, just remember this. You done came a long way. That's when I started my heart. And I'm looking at it, I said, man, quit playing with me. But I know they playing. He said, man, we just got the call. The governor denied you. And I just sat there and I looked. And what he said was, he commended me with all the work I did and all that, but he has no proof about my change. Because I had no officer, no chronos. So right
this
there.
This is 2014.
Yes. And so all the officers said, man, why you didn't ask us for a chrono? Bradley, I wrote you one. I told him the truth. I said, man, look, we all cool. I work for y'all, do all this, man. But if I would have asked you, Gary, for a chrono to help me and you said no, that would have changed my perspective of you. And I got to live up in here. And basically at that time, anybody that was in New Corcoran, they'll tell you, if you need to go to canteen, you need a cell move, you
holler at Bradley.
Holler at Sam. I got a report. I can go into any building. And I'm looking at him, man, I'm like, fuck. So the first person I started thinking about was my wife. And I'm like, man, and I'm ready to fuck somebody up.
How did you end up getting out after the governor denied you?
Then there's so many officers on that yard want to write me a chrono. But I didn't want to I had about 40 officers. I didn't want to get all that crap. So what I did is I went and got the DDP officer. She wrote me a chrono. The building officer wrote a chrono. I got the EOP officer write me a chrono. That's the real crazy people. But when they go out, this is what they call it. Hey, get Bradley over here. I can get with them. They love me. So therefore, they call me. Because the crazy people some of them really crazy, some of them playing the game, but I was able to communicate with them real good. Just for example, Mr. Kiley. So Officer Hernandez called me over. Hey, man, we got this dude, Kiley, man. He's on the... I said, all right, let me go talk to him. What's happening, Kiley? Oh, these motherfuckers lost my property. I need the Mexican consulate phone number. What? I said, okay. I said, well, where your property? They lost it. I said, what did you have? He told me what they had. I said, I tell you what, if I get you the Mexican consulate phone number and I find your property, you're going to owe me, old man. He looked at me. I said, you're going to listen to me from now on, all right? I just want my stuff. I said, okay. To this day, I can call my wife right now. Babe, I need the Mexican consulate phone number. Huh? I said, I'll explain to you later. So she ended up getting it for me. So then you remember the little tags, you put your name on for transfer and all that? I went to the building. Hey, Gary, I need a box. I need this. What's going on? I said, I'll explain to you later. He gave me everything. I went to my cell. I got some soups, got some stamps, I got some envelopes, I got a deodorant. And I just put a little bit of zooms in there. Bam. Taped it all up. I had a Gary call Hernandez. Hey, I need Kylie's whole full everything. I wrote it like he getting transferred on the little thing, taped it on the box. The next day, I go over there. They call Kylie down. He got the phone number, bro. Mexican consulate. Oh, and they found your fucking property. The crazy dude was so happy. So now about 2 weeks later, I get a call. Hey, man, they need you at the dentist. So I get to the dentist. What's happening? Man, we got somebody. I look in there. That's Kylie. They're like, yeah. I go up in there because they found set his mouth with some dentures. He up and crazy. He looked at me. He said, hey, Sam. I said, look here, man. Just cut it out. They trying to help you. What you know about the rest of the day, they didn't give me no problem. So this is what I did. So anyway, when the government took my suitability, I get the chronos. Now, when the government take your suitability, you automatically go back in 14 months. I think in maybe 2 months, one of the yard COs seen me. He said, hey, Bradley. I'm like, what's happening, man? He said, welcome back. I said, what? He said, bro, you had us all worried, man. You had a cold look in your eyes, right? And I was close. And I ended up beating somebody up anyway. My boy
But
came.
you didn't get caught.
I didn't get caught. I went up in the cell and put him on his back because he disrespected me. That's just how I was grinding.
And you're in your 50s at this point. Late 40s, early 50s. 2014.
Late 40s.
Yeah.
Yeah. Late 40s, bro. And this what K-Dub said. It's an 8-man pod. But since I run the building, I'm not going to have no more than maybe 5 people in that cell. So basically everybody going to be single bunk. But now if you a homie, like it was a dude from West Neighborhood Crib, getting it in a messed up cell, he got at me. I'm going to move you in the cell with me. I'm Dago. I moved him in the cell with me. On my bunk. Till he went home. Right? But when I go back in 2016, believe it, a lot of lifers thought I just lucked up and got found suitable. So they just knew that nigga ain't finna get found suitable again. Went up in there, man, and when it was over with, the board member said, Mr. Bradley, we had decided to find you suitable within 10 minutes of this hearing. And you know why? He asked me one simple question about my mom. And I told the truth. My mother was a terrible parent. But she loved all her sons. She didn't know how to be a parent because it was handed down with my grandmother. My grandmother lost all her kids. My mom and 3 of her sisters, no, my mom and 2 sisters was adopted by another family. The boy was adopted by another family, who ladies were sisters from the church, who was friends with my paternal great-grandmother. So this is how fucked up this shit is. Yeah. And I said she was a terrible parent. She didn't know how to be a parent, but she loved us. You fuck with her son, she gonna come at you. She wouldn't let us go trick-or-treating because she was scared. Got back in the day, people putting all kind of stuff in candy. Me and my mama go buy all this stuff and have us go get whatever we want. We got to line up in front of the door. She just give us all the candy. She had her moments.
Yeah.
Every Christmas, we got all the toys. Every holiday, the Easters, we're sharp. But she didn't know how to be a parent. I said my mother went on maybe 30 years of alcoholism, then got caught up smoking crack. And this is what I told the board. But fortunately, today, after 2003, my mother's been sober. Every Saturday, no matter what, when I'm on my way home, I had like 6 months to go to the house. Everybody know, at 6 o'clock, Haney got that phone or Sam got that phone. And I told the board, I talk to my mama every week. And I love her dear because she's clean and sober. And this is what that dude said. He said, man, you don't find a lot of men that come in here and say stuff like that about their mother. But we got it all on paper. We know. And we just wanted to hear you say it. And you just told the complete truth. And then they asked me, did you mean to kill that person? I said, yes, I did. And why is that? My mentality, if I come at you and I want something and you don't give it to me, and you don't do what I say, then you don't matter to me no more. And I shot him. And I shot him until I know he was dead. And they looked at me, and this is what you look at the board. When they go like this with a check,
Check the box.
that means it's good. I learned this. Just watch their hands. When they go like this here,
You didn't do it right.
see what I'm saying? No, the line is, okay, that's cool. The check, okay, right? I seen him for going a line like that because they got questions on there. He just crossed it out. Now, you remember the incident I told you about in 1980 in Tracy with the knives? I went to court for that. Now, lifers didn't have day for day. Well, guess who signed the paperwork for day back then? They knew it didn't affect
Governor
me.
Brown.
No, me.
Oh.
You know, lifers, I signed it. A lot of lifers wasn't signing it. I don't think they fuck that, so I signed it. Well, long story short, when the governor turned me loose this time, in 5 days, they recalculated my paperwork. Instead of going home, they came with my set date now. I still had to pay for the other sentence. It don't start till my life sentence is over with. So now it's like instead of going home in 5 days, the lady said, Sam, Mr. Bradley, I just want to know one thing. Why did you sign that day for day in 1980 in Tracy when it didn't affect you? I said, how could it hurt me? She said, well, guess what? That sentence, 16-month sentence, what you'd have been doing maybe 13 months on? I said, yes. Just because you signed that paper, at the time you caught that crime, you were sentenced for another sentence. This case is day for day.
Now, we're
8
going to
months.
get that story
Yeah.
next time.
Yeah.
All right. 'Cause
Anytime.
this-
Leave us on a
you
little
got-
cliffhanger.
we got a hell of a cliffhanger
Hey.
right here, man. So look, y'all stay tuned. 'Cause
Bam.
it's more to this story.
Yes, sir.
So I'm Will,
And I'm Steven.
and this is the
Sam.
Post P Chronicles.
Thank you, Sam.
That's Sam.